I can't even do it. Hi, I was warming up. I'm Jeffrey. Red leather, yellow leather. I'm Jeffrey, and we love to have fun. That giggle you hear is Zach. How are you doing, Zach?
Hi,
What's
everyone.
happening?
Hi, Jeffrey. Hi. I'm doing phenomenal. I'm so pleased to be here.
I know you're across the country. What is the weather right now? Cold.
It's actually finally nice.
Oh,
It's finally nice. Should we let them know when we're recording? This is March 1st.
yes, and it's nice that day, huh?
Yeah, yes, this day.
What about Punxsutawney Phil? Lying to us?
Oh, did he see his shadow? I'm
I
afraid
think
of the
so.
dark.
I can't remember. I'm Jeffrey Marsh. I am not a Punxsutawney Phil expert. I am an expert in replacing your inner voice. Welcome to Inner Voice with Jeffrey Marsh, and I'm going to take out that trash you were taught, that way you talk to yourself, that you were told is the right way to talk to yourself, which is horrible, and we're going to replace it with community, kindness, love, joy, happiness. And today's show, I'm so excited, is about relationships, which is a perennial topic and an annual topic and a forever topic and a general topic. Belongs to everyone. It's the part in the podcast where I describe myself, which you know is fraught. But I do love to brag. I have 2 best-selling books. I've studied Zen for 25 years. I have billions of views on the internet, including the TikTok. But mostly I just like to have joy. Can you imagine in this world, Zach, in this world this day, these days, we have happiness. Can you imagine?
It's a pleasure to be here. I'll say that much. It's nice to be living in joy, to be basking in it.
Well, and that is the whole deal. We remind each other, don't we, of what's important. So speaking of, a couple of reminders as we get into our discussion about relationships today. Remember that no is a complete sentence, please. And remember, when you say no, you can as a courtesy, but you don't need the preamble, the sentences before where you apologize for your existence. I'm so sorry to bother you. No. I'm so sorry I'm saying this. No. You could just come out with a no, and you don't need to clarify afterwards either. Sometimes no can be the most compassionate gesture in a relationship. Also, you don't need to earn love. If someone sets up a dynamic where you are earning their love, run for the hills. Get out as fast as you can. Get thee to someone who's unconditional. Sets boundaries, communicates, but is in the unconditional for you. And last thing I'll say before we start our beautiful discussion, going no contact isn't, quote unquote, cutting people off. We have to be careful with language. Going no contact can be your biggest step to freedom, and it can be a gesture of love for you and for them. Going no contact can be a commitment to your heart and soul. And if you phrase it like cutting people off, that's just a guilt factory. We ain't into the guilt factory, are we, Zach? We ain't into it. No. Your mic's not on, but for the people listening at home, they said no. Emphatically with drama. Zach, have you ever had a relationship be a little complicated? Sour? Difficult? Producer Cam.
Yes.
And what about that lesson of, being authentically yourself in a way teaches people who they're dealing with. In a way, it's a courtesy to both you and them.
Yeah, well, I think that's exactly what I was going to say before you said it, is that you're not really in a relationship with someone, romantic, familiar, or otherwise, unless you are yourself in that relationship. And,
Ooh!
And
yes.
there's a reciprocity there that that person deserves to know the real you, and you deserve to be loved for the authentic version of yourself.
That person deserves to know the real you. Mm. They deserve the gift of who you really are. Ain't that the truth? Speaking of people who are gifts, I believe we have Rhea first. We're going to talk to community members, people who are like-minded and like-hearted. Hi, Rhea. What would you like to look at today?
Hi, I'm Rhea. I go by
I know
Cher.
that. We know each other.
That's true with
Hi.
you. Hi, good to see you. Always good seeing your face.
Mm.
Um, I always have a bunch of questions, but I narrowed one down to something that it's a theme that keeps coming up, and that is how do I allow myself to be imperfect when I have such a high standard for myself? And there's another prong, but
Oh.
tackle that.
No, say the second part again. There's what?
So how do I allow myself to be imperfect when I
Mm-hmm.
have such a high standard for myself? And then
Mm-hmm.
I added like I'm less hard on others for being human, but my
Ooh.
standards for myself obviously bleed into my relationships and can sometimes muck things up. So my newest feat is working on allowing myself to get it wrong.
Okay, the first question I have is whom is allowing whom? Who's allowing who in there? And it's really, really fun to explore because we do have a relationship with ourselves. People don't like to think about it that way, but we do allow ourselves. We do treat ourselves. We do talk to ourselves. And that seems to me to be the first point, the first place to start. Can you tell me who is the allower? Can you say a little bit about that?
Gosh.
Good question, right?
Yeah. That's probably the question. Finding that out would be a good clincher.
Yes, I think some journaling in that direction might be nice. Go ahead.
But see, even now I'm looking at what I typed and I typed feet, F-E-E-T instead of F-E-A-T. Example of like I can't just typos happen. Um
You mean when you submitted your question, you used the feet. The feet of a human being, feet.
yeah.
Yeah, so here's an example.
Mm,
Now we snap into action. Someone is assessing whether that was okay or not.
yeah. Yeah.
The allower within. Is it okay? Is it not? I think we were all trained as young people to look outside of ourselves to whoever the allower of the moment was. And as you're pointing out, we can continue that behavior for the rest of our lives.
That's certainly been my whole life so far.
But the exciting part is you're aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So most human beings and most people that I coach with, do workshops with, they don't ever realize that there is an allower until we start working together. And to me, the corner you turn when you see that there is an allower is the most important, maybe the only corner to turn. And you turned it. Because now the work becomes, well, what do we do about that? And before you were choiceless.
It's true.
So what would you like to do about the allower,
Oh gosh.
if anything?
I think there was a time for whatever I defined the allower as where I wanted to maybe obliterate it, like, kind of like bypass it. But I think now I've realized I need to form a relationship with the allower.
Well, wait a minute. You said obliterate?
Yeah.
And then you sort of said, for people watching the video, you can only see me, but we're in a Zoom together, so I can see body language. But it was sort of like bypass became the word of choice, the second word of choice. What do you want to do? Obliterate or bypass?
I think I want to form the third option is form a relationship with, because I don't think I'm ever going to just be over that critical voice. Like, I don't think it'll ever completely go away. I don't think it'll be eradicated or obliterated.
Well, let me give you hope. It might be possible. And I went to a monastery to find out how, and can report a lot of success with ending the relationship altogether. So what I heard, and I want you to tell me if I was correct or not. What I heard was you've got this third option of have a relationship with it as a form of last resort? Question mark? A form of forced into, cornered into negotiating with it, or can you say more about that part?
Yeah, I think it's the self-work thing is just a long and winding road. And I guess I've come to a place where I realize that I think I see it more as a positive, although I don't love using positive and negative in terms of healing or growth, but but if we're going to use terms that that are understandable to a larger audience, I feel like positive is the best word I can come up with to say, like, I think it's a more positive avenue to follow, to not want to quash or suppress or deny that part, because I think the more that happens, the more the resistance to not allowing it to make all the decisions.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Not allowing it to make all the decisions. And this is so relevant. And thank you for bringing it up, Rhea, because we're talking about relationships today. And this goes with internal and external relationships. And what I would call, you can correct me if you experience it differently, what I would call a bully. So we have bullies inside us, we have bullies outside us. Take a look at the world, everyone. We've got to deal with this kind of dynamic all the time. So what I think about is what you've brought up. How do I personally demote bullies? How do I take their power? Trust me, I'm famous on the internet, right? I've encountered some bullies out there. How do I take away as much of the power as possible? And it sounds like that's what you're referring to. Am I right?
Yeah.
Which to me is different than I'm going to try to be best friends with it, which I don't think is what you were saying.
No, yeah, I am speaking to like a relationship as in understanding how it works, because you also have to do that. Unfortunately, you have to know how the bully moves to sort of understand how to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Deactivate how much power they have.
Absolutely.
The hardest thing. And the bully lives in me now. I mean, like, it comes from my childhood trauma. I shouldn't say it like that. This will
For
be,
sure.
and I don't want to diminish trauma, but I just feel like it becomes such a tired story. And I did think of like asking more questions about external relationships, but I've come to realize that it's me against me, and I hate that. I hate that.
There's only one thing we're doing: treating ourselves better.
Yeah.
There's only one thing we're doing.
Yeah.
And of course, that informs everybody outside of us that we encounter. You wanted to add some more to that?
Sorry, I just wanted to, yeah, like that is the only thing, but it feels so small, and it feels so like, oh, isn't that sweet? She's working on, it's like they're working on themselves, like how luxurious for them, but it's actually the hardest. And it's
Correct.
actually where it's at. That's where it is. That's where.
Do you know how we know it's very hard? 99.9999999% of people don't do it.
Yeah, I noticed.
That's how we know. You might have looked out and seen that in your own life. But of course, that brings us back to our main point. Our relationship with us informs our relationship with everyone. Every single person. And I think of something like forgiveness, and how there's this whole culture in the, maybe toxically positive, but positive Instagram space. You know, you got to forgive so you can let go, and on and on. It's like some sort of spiritual quest, you know, mountain you're supposed to climb. And at the top of the mountain is forgiveness. I don't subscribe to any of that stuff.
That is exactly what I was trying to get at by the bypassing, like that it's this one thing and then for the forever you're fine. But I interrupted you.
Oh, yes. No, yes. Okay, right. So I loved the way you said bypassing, because it's sort of like a wish at the same time it's a calling forth.
Mm.
And we can't seem to be able to be alone with that voice without it coming after us. So now you've got your mandate, right? Treating yourself better, being kinder to yourself. And I would direct every single ounce of attention I have on that. Letting the bully within or without do their thing, have their moment, be doing stuff over here, and you're focused on, I love you, thank you, I'm glad you're here, right? Deeply important.
I just wanted to say I love you, thank you, and I'm glad you're here.
I love you too. Yes, isn't it fun to, I mean, you're trying to have a deep, heartfelt moment. Do you experience it as fun? Is that too light of a word? It's fun and deep, and it's all the things.
Yeah, it's wonderful at the same time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel very grateful for being here. So truly, thank you. Yeah.
Me too. Thank you. I mean, Zach, I feel like the luckiest person alive. Don't we have lovely people in the community?
Absolutely. I was moved.
I learned so much, you know, and I'm supposed to be in the hot seat, but that's of course why I do this. So inspirational and so delightful. And that's what our whole community is about. Do you want trivia time? I feel like we should have a trivia. We should have a theme. Cut that out every time and use that, would you? We should have a theme song.
Done. I was actually going to say I'll have something written, but that's better. I'm just going to add a lot of reverb to that.
Just make it sound like I'm in a stadium with 10,000 people. Okay, trivia question that has to do with relationships. I'm listening.
Absolutely. This one's juicy. What percentage of American adults report being estranged from at least one family member?
What percentage? Now, do you know, is this America-centric? What percentage of Americans?
Of American adults
American adults
being estranged from at least one family member.
I'm going to guess 50. I'm going to go there. Half and half. I'm going to guess. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. Cuz I think it was the vogue on TikTok for a long time. So I know a lot of people are inspired to clean a little house and have relationships that really support them. But we will find out that number later in the episode. Now, after our ad read, you're going to enjoy the ads. After our ad read, we'll talk to another member of the community and have another beautiful discussion about relationships. Don't go very far. Hey, you know that advice you give your best friend? The one that lifts them up, reminds them of their worth, and helps them keep going? Yeah, what if you actually took it yourself? My book, Take Your Own Advice, is the permission slip you didn't know you needed. It's a guide to self-kindness, to finally believing in yourself the way you believe in others. Packed with wisdom, warmth, and that signature Jeffrey magic. This book is like a cozy chat with me or one of your most supportive friends. So, if you're ready to stop second guessing and start thriving, grab Take Your Own Advice wherever books are sold. And hey, this is your sign. Imagine a place where you can show up fully, exactly as you are, no judgment, just understanding, acceptance, and genuine connection. That's what you'll find in Jeffrey's Safe Space, my online community designed just for you. We're here to support each other, to grow together, and create a world that's softer, kinder, and so much brighter. Join us today at jeffreymarsh.com. You belong here, exactly how you are. Welcome back to Inner Voice. I'm your inner voice, your truest inner voice, your better, improved, a whole lot nicer than that trash you were taught to say to yourself, Jeffrey Marsh. Welcome back. I believe we have Kristen on the line. Oh, it feels like a call-in radio show from the 90s. It feels like an episode of Frasier. Okay, the old one, not the new one. Kristen is on the line. Hi. Kristen, how are you doing?
I'm good,
Hi.
thank you. My pronouns are she, her.
Hello. What would you like to look at today?
Well, you might have sort of already answered it, but I'll bring it up anyway. So I'm dating, and I'm noticing, I've been in therapy for a million years,
Mm-hmm.
and as I'm dating, I'm just noticing like I have so much terror that comes up around, particularly like physical intimacy, just based on my own trauma.
Mm.
And it's trauma I've been, working at healing for a number of years, but I notice like the terror comes up and immediately it's like this flooding of shame about being so afraid. And I've noticed like when it comes up, it's so easy to go like, well, I could also just live alone with a few cats and be totally content. Like that feels like it would be such a relief.
Yes, yes.
And I know there's a part of me that does want partnership, but I feel like this monster has been so big for so long.
Yeah. And when you say the monster, you mean the terror of physical intimacy.
Yeah, just the trauma that yeah, like the terror and the horror, like it's like something that's supposed to feel connecting and nice, just feels like
Mm-hmm.
awful a lot of the time.
Oh gosh, something that's supposed to feel connecting and nice feels awful a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Isn't that just the human experience?
So I'm not the
And
only one.
yeah, well, nobody ever tells us that the good stuff can be terrifying sometimes.
Mm,
No one ever tells us that getting what we want can be more spiritually difficult than deprivation. If our go-to is like self-sacrifice, which it is for a lot of us and is for me, that can be a very comfortable place.
hmm
Oh, I could be fine with 5 cats. I could be fine with 5 cats. Me over here? Oh, don't worry about me. And I'm not. I'm having a little fun with it because the lightness helps us to look at the darkness and the deepness of it. Because we as human beings, this is our relationship episode, so I get to go right to the truth. We need relationships. We need reflections. In spiritual practice, we need to be around people like us, like this community, so that we don't go off track.
mm,
But also in a romantic way, I don't know about your past history. I'm married to my husband. It's a good person to be married to, your husband.
mhm.
We're married and we've been together 14 years. And I tell you, having a good, healthy, solid relationship is by far the most difficult spiritual work I've ever done. Period. And whenever I have a friend who's like, "Oh, I'm so jealous. You have a great person in your life and it's happy and healthy." And it's like, do you have any idea what I had to face to be able to even do it?
Mm.
Let alone stuff like intimacy as well. I'm really glad you brought it up.
Yeah, no, it's helpful to hear because I can see now why I've gotten into not great relationships because there's something that has felt less difficult about being in, like you said, deprivation and mistreated. Like that's easy, easy.
Ooh, something less difficult about being mistreated. Could you say more about that? Tell me your experience of that.
Well, there's something about like I think I don't have to exist as much, but like
Mm,
there's the familiarity piece, like, oh, this bonding is familiar. I get this. And also, if I'm with someone who's just going to do what they do, I don't have to, I can go into non-existence and that's easy.
Oh, I love you, because we want so desperately to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
and we want so desperately to hide. And that is just duking it out in our hearts and minds and souls for our entire lives.
Mm.
And that to me feels again like a young place, but that when we were younger, we were taught you're unlovable, right? So we desperately wanted to be loved. But we also learned, some of us, that the safest place to be was invisible.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it. I want to be loved, but don't look at me and don't see me.
See me, but don't look.
But
Yeah.
don't look, yeah.
Yeah. And we all have that tension. So my question is, what do you want to do with all this? What's next? What's the next step? What's the brave frontier for you with relationships?
Oh boy. I guess the next step would be to not like stop at the terror or stop at the shame, because I
Mm,
feel like that's where I can stop and I just give up.
yeah. You remember when we were talking earlier with Rhea that you have a relationship with you? So I could very poetically and artistically and with flair and grace and style, because that's me, I could say there's a part of you that's terrorized, that feels terror. So is there also a mentor in there, a loving presence in there, an inner parent in there who can hold the terrorized person's hand and say, I love you, I honor you, and we're getting on OK Cupid. Is that still a thing?
I don't think so.
Getting on the apps, because obviously I have my husband. I haven't been on the apps. We're going out into the dating world, and I'll be here to help you. Let me, the adult parent mentor energy, let me go on the dates, and you can, do whatever you want to do. Play, stay home. The terrorized part can stay home.
Yeah, I feel like even just hearing you say that makes me think like I might have to be going a lot slower with everything because
Mm.
like just hearing you say that, like I think I get in a situation, the terror comes flooding up and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Like it's really hard to just slow down that reel and like and I think I go into projecting a lot of pressure, like nobody's gonna want to be this slow with me. But I'm also the one that's rushing me about
All
it.
right. I mean, oh yes. And Rhea said it, right? Like, I'm my enemy. It's me. Oh shoot. But of course it's our patterns. It's the voice inside our heads. It's what we were taught about ourselves, right? It's not actually us in the classical sense.
Mm,
But I love this. Now you've identified your assignment, putting all the focus and energy on that beautiful mentoring presence between you and the someone who's afraid. Kind of beautiful, right?
I know I can feel my tears. I think I'm gonna cry. So yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you.
This is a safe space. It's okay to cry. And people often do. And I think it's because once we identify that that's our main job, mentoring ourselves, right? Mentoring ourselves, that we can be free.
Mm,
And there is such emotion in that freedom.
yeah, yeah, I feel that. I don't know if this is a redundant question, but I'm curious because like you've mentioned the terror, like would you do the same thing with the part that feels shame? Like what do you do with the shame piece?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what you can do is write a letter. You don't even have to write a letter, write a dialogue, put it at the top of your journal page. What would you like to tell me?
Mm,
And then have whoever is feeling the shame just pour it all out. And you can ask questions and go back and forth. But that's a journal page is a physical way to manifest that or to express that mentoring relationship with yourself.
yeah, okay.
So will you try it and come back in a future show, in a future time, and tell us how it went?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Lots of love. Great talking to you.
Thank you all so much.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Again, gorgeous community, beautiful people. I'm in love with the people around me, including you, Zach. We have a question from our community. When we say community, we mean the group of folks that are doing this with us. So if you can hear my voice, that includes you. But we also have an online community at jeffreymarsh.com, a place where you can be safe, feel safe, and offer safety to others, which may be the most important. But we have fun. And we have a question from the community. Go ahead, Zach.
Jeffrey, I recently went no contact. Let me say that again.
Can you do a British accent?
Jeffrey?
That was French.
Jeffrey.
And all I heard was half a syllable. You don't have to do an accent. Go ahead.
It's also because this question is so earnest and beautiful. I don't want to ruin it. Jeffrey, I recently went no contact with a toxic family member, but now I feel guilty. Like I abandoned them. How do I know if I made the right choice? And how do I deal with the resounding guilt?
Okay, I'm famous for this. And if you watch me interact with people and talk to them, you'll see me do this several times over. So they think that this is a question about guilt. But I first want to talk about deal with. What is that? What is that? What is deal with? So this is mine to deal with. I got to deal with the guilt. I would challenge you, anonymous, beautiful community member. I would challenge you to not deal with guilt, but let's try a different tactic. Embrace, journal about, feel, go through, be with yourself as you experience. Yeah? Language like that. So first step, anything we feel is not something to be dealt with. I think all of us are over feeling dealt with throughout our entire lives. And we don't want to treat ourselves that way. Guilt is natural. Well, I don't know about natural. Exceedingly common. Anyone who ponders going no contact, especially with family, the first thing is a wall of guilt. An absolute wave, tidal wave, a dump truck of guilt. And what you'll need to do is the things we mentioned. Feel it, journal about it, be kind to yourself, experience it, stop running from the guilt. And once you've done that process, you'll have clarity about what comes next. Trust me. So we will take another break and, after this ad break, trivia answer. Remember, you want to remind people what the trivia question was?
Oh, absolutely. Our trivia question for this episode was, what percentage of American adults report being estranged from at least one family member?
We'll have the answer to that. We'll have encouragement from me. We'll have kindness, more fun, more love, more happiness, more whatever we're feeling right after this. Hey, love. Jeffrey here. If you've ever felt lost, stuck, or wondered, who am I really? And how do I fully embrace it? Then I've written something special just for you. My book, How to Be You, is your personal guide to self-acceptance, empowerment, and joyfully celebrating your true self. Because the most revolutionary thing you can ever be is exactly who you are. Ready to step into your truth? Pick up How to Be You wherever books are sold. You deserve it. Hit me with that trivia, would you? What is the answer? I need to know. Refresh.
Well,
I think I said half as my answer.
Yes, I believe you did say half. So the question again is, what percentage of American adults report being estranged from at least one family member? From at least one family member. Sorry, my lips did something weird there. And the answer is, Jeffrey and Co., approximately 27%, which is not 50, but still chunky.
Yeah, I said 50.
Of American adults are estranged from at least one
More
family
than a
member.
quarter.
More than a quarter, and my source, Jeffrey, is the American Psychological Association.
That's great. To me, it speaks to people's willingness to shape their lives the way they must be. I mean, that's what the whole idea of going no contact in the beginning, in the first place, is to me. Well, thank you. I mean, that's something to chew on. And if you're considering no contact yourself, you're not alone, obviously. The time has come to say goodbye. When I was quite a little child, there was a show called Romper Room, and the teacher, I guess she was a teacher, but she would say like, I see Jeffrey, I see Zach, and you would just wait for your name to be called. And I sort of feel that energy. Like, I see Kristen, I see Rhea, I see Zach, I see our beautiful community. Here are the things to remember for this episode. You are not too much. You remember, Rhea, we talked about your relationship with yourself. That's the primary. That's the first. That's honestly where all the energy should go, at least for a while, especially if you're used to not doing that. Your relationship with yourself is deeply important at the very least, and it has to be a priority if you're going to have healthy relationships with other people. So you're not too much, and if someone makes you feel like you are too much, if someone gives you a context of being, you're annoying me, you're too much, that's a warning sign for any relationship. And of course, we also talked about boundaries, and boundaries don't end relationships. The truth ends relationships. Often your boundary is just an expression of the truth. I will accept this, I won't accept treatment like this. And that truth is what brings a relationship to a close, not you and the way you held boundaries or you deciding to hold boundaries. The truth will not allow the relationship to be sustained. And keep in mind, no need to feel guilty about that. And last thing I want to tell you, love should always feel like freedom, not like a debt being paid. Love should feel like freedom, not like you're indebted to that person and you need to repay them. And we all know the ways we try to repay, right? We erase ourselves. We don't bother. We aren't a burden, in big quotes. Or we serve, we praise, we fawn, we do all kinds of things to pay back that debt. Remember, love's not a debt. Love is freedom. Take good, kind care of yourself. Be the good human being you are. Take your light out into the world. Use the stuff we've seen and learned today to be the change you wish to see in that old world of ours. Goodbye for now. Goodbye to Zach. Thank you to Rhea. Thank you to Kristen. I am forever honored to speak with you. Lots of love to you. We'll see you next time. Bye. This has been Inner Voice with Jeffrey Marsh. Today's episode was produced by Zach Latino. If you're ready to go deeper, transform your life, and experience personalized support, my one-on-one coaching sessions can be applied for at jeffreymarsh.com. Know someone perfect for Inner Voice? Send them our way. Have them visit jeffreymarsh.com to sign up for our exclusive online community, and we'll reach out if their inquiry aligns with an upcoming episode. Remember, you are worthy exactly as you are. See you next time.